Pulp MX Network production.
Bringing you a cheeky Brit and an American YouTube racing sensation weekly. It's the LVK More Than Moto podcast with your hosts, Lewis Phillips and Kellen Brauer.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Leatt LVK More Than Moto podcast. I am Kellen Brauer, joined once again by Lewis Phillips. Washougal is behind us. We have a 2-weekend break coming up in the schedule and a lot of different things to talk about, especially from what just happened at Washougal. But first off, Big Lou, good to see you. Didn't see you this weekend. How is everything up in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, brilliant weekend, Kellen. A lot of fans, LVK fans, other fans, a lot of them. At the event. Great racing. Best racing of the season, I would say. Ticked all the boxes. Great content. Ticked all the boxes. Really left there feeling upbeat.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that no mental breakdowns. Did you go to the show Friday?
No.
No?
Because
you're not can you hang around for that? I thought you were going to be on it. So
the absolute disgrace. I got bumped from the Pulp MX live show because Chad Reed and James Stewart were available. Can you, I mean,
honestly, I think you're a better selection. So
honestly, my jaw hit the floor when Steve told me, and it still hasn't recovered because I don't see how anyone with any common sense could think that's a better option. I just can't.
Like, why would American fans want to hear about Chad Reed and James Stewart's rivalry from themselves when you could tell them all about what happened at Fox Hill in 08?
Exactly, Kellen. Like, it just, you always wonder what point Steve's going to start to lose it a little bit, lose his edge. And I think we found that moment when he broke that news to me. It's like, oh, you've really lost touch, haven't you? Sad, but the world must go on.
Very sad indeed. But this is also your longest flight of the year, I believe, or I guess Seattle. But I mean, this one's pretty far. So how was the nice 6-hour flight there and back?
Something happened on the flight that I meant to bring up on this podcast, but for the life of me, I can't remember it.
Was it an Am I a Dick?
No, it was This Person's a Dick. But I can't remember. Oh. I've lost it for some reason. There was also a TV show that I watched that I had to tell you about, and I've forgotten that as well.
Man, I'm not on your mind this weekend, I guess.
I've unloaded a lot of information in the last couple of days, and it seems that while the door was open, other stuff kind of slipped through, which is unfortunate.
You've also gathered a lot of information over the last couple of days, which may or may not be part of what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, you were kind of the
most successful, arguably Lewis's most successful American weekend.
I was going to say you were kind of the star of the weekend, like aside from the Mathis JT showdown. Like I feel like I heard or I saw your name be written in more places than usual this weekend.
Yeah, it's not all of it good.
I think for the most part, everybody's on your side for what happened on Friday. Like, I don't think anybody's looking at you negatively for. Well, okay, you're going to pull up a YouTube comment of the week that's probably against that, but
I've given up with that. I mean, I could pull up a few. There's been a few today, even, but no, it's fine. A lot of unwanted attention, Kellen.
Well, I think we're just going to keep on bringing the attention, to be honest with you.
No, it's fine. I've got a lot to say. Lot to unload.
Let's jump into the show. But before we do that, I want to say a big shout out to Partzilla specifically, because boy, oh boy, did they have a hell of a weekend with Mikkel Haarup. We'll talk about like the whole team as a synopsis later, but I mean, round of applause. Mikkel Haarup finally showed up. And I listened to your post-race interview with him, or maybe pre-race. No, it was post-race, because you were like, I kind of don't want to cheer you on for this because you should do this all the time.
Yep, and you saw, and I'm not going to celebrate him in the way you did because this is Mikkel Haarup's level and should be it every single week. Maybe not quite
P10.
This, but in the 9 to 13 range.
Was he the top Cowie on the day? I never actually...
Yeah, of course. Who else would be it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if Prado's first moto got him there.
Prado was battling with Cade at one point, so...
I get that, but you know how the scores sometimes get a little loose. A 5-19 or something could, twist
the fact that I said he was battling with Cade should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, well, to be honest, that's going to be my first topic of the day. So we'll tell you about Leatt Racetech and Namura and Partzilla throughout the show. But my first topic, Lewis, it has to be this. I mean, I like the guy. and he's a good dude, and he's one of the most talented riders of this generation. But WTF, Jorge Prado, because that interview he gave you on Friday was shocking in itself. And then everything that happened on Saturday, it just added to the drama even more. So I don't know like what to make of this anymore, because again, yes, he is trying to figure stuff out. Yes, he is a world-class talent. Yes, he should be much better than this. But to take none of the blame, it's a bit much.
Did he take none of the blame? I can't really remember.
Okay, can I read out what you guys did back and forth here?
Yeah, sure. Is this going to make me uncomfortable?
No, I don't think so. But I pulled two snippets. First of all, you led off your interview by saying, first moto last week wasn't great. It wasn't good even. Second moto was a nice rebound. So where are we at?
So harsh.
Leaving Millville coming into here, is it full panic? Is the second moto a bit of positivity to cling on? Or are we just at a point now where we're going to take a swing every week and see what happens with the bike? And Jorge just kind of laughed and said, yeah, I would say that third option. So no positivity. And then later you said the words, I feel you're lost. And Jorge said, huh? And you said, I feel like you're lost. And Jorge said, I'm not lost. Maybe others, for sure not me. And you said, so you know the direction you need to go. And Jorge said, no, I know what I do and I know what I'm capable of. That's it. And then you said, are we going to see what you're capable of this outdoor season? Or are we more on the 2026 plan at this point? And Jorge replied, it doesn't depend on me.
Okay. First of all, I'm getting a lot of heat for saying you seem lost. I don't know why everyone's so outraged at that. Like,
I would think that's a fair take but at the replies that he has been giving, because only someone that is as confused as that would be replying the way that he is.
Yes, but I don't think that's aggressive. I was really surprised that so many people found out to be so disrespectful. Like, I would say that to anyone, like, in different contexts. Like, when Chase after the race was saying, like, yeah, I can't figure out the balance of the bike. Like, we're either too high on the front, too high on the rear. It's a seesaw, blah, blah, blah. Like, you could have replied to that and said, you seem lost. You know, like, I feel like that's not so aggressive. I was surprised at that. The last weekend wasn't great, not even good. Maybe that's a bit aggressive, because kind of like set that up and then just knocked it down.
Okay, but further. No, I mean, like, I'll stop you there simply because of the fact that, again, he is, and you and I both feel this way. I know you feel this way because you and Wheeler have been going back and forth about this on the MXGP podcast. He is a generationally good talent. Like, he is perfectly capable of taking what he was doing last year and bringing it here this year and challenging for, at worst, podiums, probably more. So to be getting passed by Valentin Guillod, Lorenzo Lecurcio, Benoit Paturel, some of which he was lapping straight up in GPs last year, is enough to say wasn't great, wasn't good even, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't. The only thing that I felt uncomfortable with about the interview was when he aggressively attacked me for being too negative. That was the only moment where I was like, "Oh!" But to be clear to everyone, I went and spoke to him afterwards, and we sat and spoke for 90 minutes. And he didn't even. I said to him, "Am I allowed to talk to you? Or am I too negative?" And he laughed and was like, "No, why?" So I don't even think he really remembered that he said that. But I don't know. Like, it's clearly not working. In my mind, none of this is even worth talking about because it's clearly broken, and it's broken to a degree where it's not going to be fixed. And see you in 2026, and hopefully that's better. Like, this is not a week-to-week problem at this point. This is such a fundamental issue that let's just forget about Prado for the time being because it's not going to change. That's kind of where I'm at. You could tell me Prado finished between 4th and 30th, and I would take any of that and go, yeah, because that's just his range right now for whatever reason.
The only reason I feel like it's worth talking about at this point, to be honest with you, is because I think that we knew he was going to have that more like brash European mentality and approach to things. I mean, like, even Haarup has been very open and honest about things that he likes or doesn't like, and that's just the way that they operate, you know. But I just can't believe he takes no accountability for anything. You know what I mean? Like, I get it if what you feel like you're doing is perfect and the best, and it's what you've done before, so it should work and all that. But to at no point be like, I should be better. I should last longer during the motos. I should not be getting passed by Lorenzo Locurcio. Like, really? You know, like, I just think that's kind of an insane logic to have in this whole operation. And if you're Cowie, you got to be like, what? Like, we're doing everything we can. You have to meet us halfway here a little bit.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue right now, I think, is that the sides are so fractured that there needs to be a therapy session, a reunion of sorts to bring everyone back together, because I feel like it's getting very snipey and it's no longer a cohesive unit working towards the same goal. It's almost a little more negative than that. And I don't know how you fix that. Someone who's very smart, much smarter than me, told me that now, this week, they should give Prado a stock Kawasaki 450, tell him to ride it for a few days, and then rebuild from there. Like, literally give him the time to understand the fundamentals of the bike and slowly add to that. Basically, start from scratch. Forget everything that's happened. I think that's the only logical play at this point, because clearly the week-to-week changes and fine-tunes and reactions to his comments are irrelevant, not working. That's just not a process that's leading anywhere successful. If anything, you could still argue that Fox and Hangtown were his best races of the season.
Mm-hmm. No, it has gotten progressively worse. I mean, it looked like we were trending upward at Southwick and Millville for a second moto a little bit, but then again, in your interview, I think there was another point later on in the interview where you said, like, Redbud was good, Millville was, you know, like, Southwick was good, and he goes, no, none of it was good. And he's just like shooting down any sort of level of positivity or positive steps being made or anything like that. And
does that not remind you
to me,
of
that's
me,
like more of a fractured mentality too.
But does that not remind you of me? Is that not just a Euro thing? Because I feel like I do that as well, and I feel like a lot of the MXGP riders do too.
I mean, I guess, and I
feel like
understand that that's like more of a brutally honest thing. But okay, but Lewis is celebrating. We got balloons flying through the screen. I don't know, but I feel like even in your case, like if you say like, oh, everything's negative or whatever, there's still like the silver lining of like, oh, but I fucking killed it in that interview, or oh, I really liked, you know, this article I wrote, even if it's
Prado
weeks ago at this
that.
point. Like,
No,
nothing.
Yeah, but there's
not
no
one
lap
bit.
time. There's, I mean, starts maybe. I guess he could say.
Yeah, starts are good, and he's qualified a little bit better lately.
His qualifying results aren't anything near what he would want.
Of course not, but I mean, you can't be like 12th to start the year and then start qualifying 3rd and 4th and be like, it's still dog shit. You got to like look at the positives in that.
I read this out on the Vital show, but shall I read out my anonymous message again?
Go ahead.
Because I feel like it's useful, isn't it? I wanted to make an anonymous comment. I got this message randomly. I didn't ask for it. I wanted to make an anonymous comment on the Prado and Cowie situation. I have no doubt that a bike is a problem, and I know what it's like for nobody to understand or believe you as a rider. Having said that, one thing that I find doesn't add up in Prado's interviews comments is the fact that he says he is just cruising around out there, and then he gets to the end of the moto and isn't even tired. In my experience, I have never been as tired as I was when I was riding the Cowie, because I had to compensate so much for the bike and try so damn hard to make the bike work that I was completely exhausted by the end of the moto. Most times, so tired after Moto 1 that I knew going to the line for Moto 2 that I had nothing left in the tank. Now, you might say that I wasn't as fit as Prado or whatever, but that's to my point even more. If he is fitter than I was, then he should be able to compensate better than I did. But either way, if the bike is a problem, then you would be absolutely exhausted at the end of each moto because you have to give it everything you've got just to make the damn thing work, meaning the Kawasaki. Just my 2 cents coming from someone who struggled with that green machine. And that wasn't from Jeremy Sewer, because if it was, there would be a lot more fucks, and also he probably wouldn't want to be anonymous.
Yeah,
But like that, honestly, this is the closest we've ever come to the Red Bull second seat saga in F1. Because as far as the last 4 or 5 years go, Roman Federer is the only rider to make the Kawasaki work.
Yeah. I mean, Phil. No, I mean,
Well, I feel like Phil is biting his tongue a lot in these conversations.
I know he is. You said last 5 years, right?
Oh, well, I wasn't being scientific. I mean, Anderson's 2022 Supercross season was amazing, of course.
Yes, but this is where I'm confused because obviously it's a new machine from 24 onward, right? Like frame, geometry, everything's different. They did a new motor, all of that. And Fever's making it work. Kudos to him. But if we even go further back than this, and I don't know what your anonymous source is, but I'm assuming he rode a Cowie before this.
Yeah, he said someone who struggled with a Kawasaki machine.
Yes.
It's James Stewart, and he's calling back to 2007.
The fact that we can go back 2 years and Adam Cianciullo on one arm was getting top fives on this bike should be proof in the pudding enough that, like, there is a world somewhere where you can ride through this problem.
Okay. So I've also messaged basically every single rider I can think of because I'm really trying to understand this. And to be honest, I do want to present. This is such a delicate situation now on the Prado side and the Kawasaki side that I feel like it's no longer a topic we can just bullshit about. Like we almost need,
it's not
like something. So I messaged someone else.
But Cowie doesn't want to talk about it. That should be said.
No, publicly. But I've had good conversations with Cowie.
But that's what I'm trying to differentiate. Yes, they will tell you about what they're doing. No, they don't want it to be said publicly, really. So that's why it's kind of tough because in a way we do still have to bullshit about it a little bit because all we get is Prado's damning comments and then a lot of weird fluff behind the scenes of what's being done about it.
So this other rider, anonymous source, not one of my normal guys, said what we're all overlooking is when has a KTM lifer ever left KTM and succeeded? And when you think about it, there isn't one because Roxon was on a Suzuki for the longest time. Jeffrey, if Jeffrey were to leave KTM next year, that would be a very interesting point of evidence. Vial next year will be very interesting case study for this. But all of the KTM lifers have either stayed on KTM for life or kind of not really gone on to do better things. So is it just that hard to be so engrossed in the Austrian way of manufacturing a motorcycle that moving on from it is a challenge that we're all underestimating?
This is a little bit different, and he had a Suzuki stint in the middle of it all. But would you not kind of call Koldenhoff a KTM lifer? And
no,
he's been okay.
Because he started on a Yamaha.
Not in GPs.
He rode a Yamaha from 2011 and 2012. And he was it's also like he was a privateer KTM rider per se, you know, like
he's a guy he was on KTM for basically a decade and then went to a Yamaha 4 years ago. And granted, he struggled, but then he eventually started winning and podiuming and you know, all that stuff. So I don't know. To me, it's kind of like
Koldenhoff rode a Yamaha in 2010 and 2011 and then a Suzuki in 2014 and 2015. So
that's what I'm saying. The Suzuki stint maybe throws us all off, but
as does the Yamaha.
I don't know.
2010 and 2011.
Well, I'm just talking about like he was on KTM for an extended period of time and then jumped somewhere else and did still succeed.
Yeah, but Prado's been on a KTM since he was on a 50. Like he knows nothing else. The riders who know nothing else, like even Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey was on a Suzuki, wasn't he, as an amateur? I think. I don't know why I'm suddenly doubting that.
I don't know that that's... I can't read into it that much. I can't say because you felt what a KTM frame felt like when you were 7, that's all you know for the rest of your life. Like, I think that, of course, there's adaptations and changes you go through.
I don't know. That was another theory that a rider gave me. Not saying I buy it, but that's just another one to consider.
Okay.
Like, there isn't a case study for a... I literally can't even come up with an example. I said this on the Vital Pod. Probably the best person to ask is Tommy Searle, because he went from Kawasaki to KTM to Kawasaki to KTM to Kawasaki. So he's very familiar with bouncing between those two bikes, although not exactly with the current gen, you know. Although he was on a Kawasaki last year. So maybe he can compare to previous, you know, like, oh yeah, the bike has become more unique. Add that to the to-do list. Where's my notepad? Yeah, so I don't know. It's fucked. I want to make this clear. Jorge Prado is a better rider than this, and in no way, shape, or form should he be battling with the riders he's battling with, or in the results that he should be, or the results that he's getting. Equally, Kawasaki and Kawasaki's bike are nowhere near as bad as this, and their riders should never be this uncomfortable getting the results that he is currently getting. So both of those things can be true without picking a side, because I feel as though it's getting to the point now where you're starting to be brushed with a side, which again, it's delicate.
Yeah.
I don't think Prado's getting out of his contract. I don't think he's trying to. I don't think that's going to happen. I know that he has a lot more positivity about Supercross, so I think mentally he has now moved on to SMX, and he is quite optimistic about SMX. Now, admittedly, he hasn't started SMX testing yet. So once that starts, who knows? But as of right now, he's optimistic about SMX. He's not sat there going, well, this bike is going to be shit everywhere. I mean, he reminded me, don't forget, the first heat race of the year with like 2 weeks of riding, he finished second. Like, he is still a good rider. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's a communication issue brought on into a degree by the fracturing of a harmonious relationship. So I think that's in there. I found it peculiar how in the second moto, Prado's mechanic was pitboarding him and writing like Jeremy Hand next and John Short possible. Like,
you should have tweeted this.
To me, if I'm Prado, I'm snapping that pitboard over someone's head because I'm riding around looking at that going, who the fuck do you think I am? Like, why are you pitboarding me like this is the race of my life? I don't care. Like, I could get them probably, but I'm just out here trying to test. So that almost makes me feel like, because someone in the Prado camp told me we are just testing, we're not racing. But then the pitboard is basically acting like this is a race of a lifetime. Just give him lap times every lap. So I think even there I see a bit of a miscommunication, because if I'm Prado, that's pissing me off. I'm riding around going, fuck off. Seriously. I tried to do the correct journalism thing and went and waited near the Kawasaki rig after the second moto to see with my own eyes if he's throwing up, if he's tired, if he's sweating. He looked fine. So I tried to figure that out. I don't know. Also, I say the pitboard said like John Short possible. It actually said number 199 possible, which I had a good old chuckle about, because there's no way Prado knows who that is, and he most likely thought to himself, Pastrana?
Yeah. Pastrana entered this race? What world am I in right now?
Or my mechanic's telling me I'm doing so shit I should go to X Games. Maybe that's what
the last thing I'll ask you about this entire topic is, and you know, we talked about it in our group chat a little bit about, as you said, he's probably not leaving to go back to Europe. He wants to see this thing through. But as far as I understand it, him breaching his contract would force him to buy out of it a pretty large sum of money.
Well, yeah, that was...
If Cowie, I know, but if Cowie tomorrow just says, hey, man, you know what? This isn't working for either of us. We will drop the buyout if you want to walk. If that's gone, does he leave? Like, if there's no suddenly a wall in the way, he would walk away, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that... But I think that that's kind of proof in the pudding of where we're already at. Like, he's going to try to see this thing through because the monetary value of it's too high not to. But I think he's in a position already where he's kind of over it.
Yeah, well, definitely from an outdoor perspective, yeah. I don't think he believes in the slightest that things are going to improve at Ironman, Buds, or Unadilla. No doubt, I don't think that's on his mind. But again, I don't think that should be on anyone's minds, because clearly the issues are much more than just a tweak here to get your rider more comfortable. We're talking fundamental base problems. Here's a good question.
Yeah.
And let's say that the deal isn't already signed. Okay? So let's just say hypothetical, we're playing a game, calm down. I can already feel people in their mum's basements hovering over the keyboard ready to lose their fucking mind. My body's just become really itchy as well. I don't know why. Let's say KTM hadn't signed Eli yet and Prado then becomes available. Do you still take Eli, or do you bet on Prado and bring him back and be like, we can rediscover the magic he had on our bike in GPs?
No, you absolutely take Eli.
I don't know. I think that's a more
if I
interesting question than
no,
you're giving it
because
credit for.
Roger, for sure, and I would say Ian a little bit, are two like no bullshit type of guys. I don't think that they would stand. Roger definitely would not stand for Jorge being the way that he is.
But do you
Like he would?
do you just count on that being Kawasaki Jorge?
No, I think that we're already there. Like this is going to carry across the board for the rest of his career now, because he, in his own mind, based on the comments, is like, I've already done it, bro. Like I am a world champion, multi-time world champion. You see where I'm supposed to be. So if I'm not there, it's not my fault. Like that is going to carry for the rest of his career, because that's in his own mind what he's made up about what he's done in his career at this point. So I think if he goes to KTM, even, next year, which won't happen, but if he did, he would still like get 7th at A1 and be like, I should be winning.
No, you can't say that in Supercross.
Dude, that mentality that he has right now is insane.
No, but this is motocross. You can't put that on him in Supercross.
But you got to swallow humble pie a little bit here. You can't get your teeth kicked in every single week and be like, I'm not the problem one bit.
I just think he knows at his core, he knows I can win, which is true. I think he can win. So I think that's where he's at.
Yeah, I get it. And I believe that an athlete in his position always has to have that mentality of I can win and I will be winning and all that stuff to get back to that level in the first place. But the comments just, I can't believe it. I just could not believe listening to it. I know you've had a lot of people also reaching out to you that have also said the same thing about it.
Well,
so
it's nice of my best friend Chase to watch the interview, support his friend Lewis, give him a view.
There you go again. But he say that he thought that the interview that Steve did with him at Southwick was worse?
Well, he thought Prado came across worse in that, but that's just him trying to protect me.
Yeah.
He's obviously just trying to protect me. No, literally every MXGP. Yeah. I woke up Saturday morning and every single MXGP rider had messaged me with a link and saying, what the fuck is that?
See, but this is where it also kind of annoys me with Prado a little bit, because again, I think he's a good dude. He's really nice, and I've always had a pretty good talking relationship with him, and he might call me an idiot now after all these comments, but you can't also then say I don't understand where some of these comments are coming from. I just laugh at them. It's like, bro, you're finishing 19th. You're the third Kawasaki in line, and you're the only factory Kawi on the track. Of course people are going to start criticizing you, the person, if that's the result. That again is too much short-sightedness.
I'm not defending Prado, but I'm also not willing to burn Prado at the stake like I feel other people are.
I don't want to burn him at the stake either, and I know that he's going through a lot of stuff, but that
him off.
And on the flip side of that, there are too many people, and it's mostly social media comments that I guess I see, but I've seen people on podcasts too just straight up say maybe he's not as good as the Americans, and to that I fight you every day of the week. I think that the GP guys outdoors are just as good as what they're doing over here all day long. Maybe Jett a notch up in some tracks for sure, but I think you pull Geyser, Hurlings, Prado of last year, Fever right now, and they slot right in with this Hunter, Chase, Tomac, Schwarre trying to beat Jett.
Yeah, Prado did say to me that he wishes Hurlings had come to Southwick because it would have been a bit of a see, that's where I'd be.
Yeah.
But that's now we're getting into
Hurlings would have won Southwick.
Now we're getting into my off-record conversation. But yeah, no, so I don't know. There's clear even if one side is 100% correct in this, that side is going to have to come down a little bit and meet the other person in the middle. So we basically need to go back to a stock bike, start from scratch, maybe everyone can turn up with a hello, my name is Jorge name badge and stuff like that, reintroduce themselves, act like everything up until this point never happened, and we'll see what works. That's kind of where I'm at with this thing.
Well, I just hope that if you interview him again at Ironman, you make sure that you're well protected, because he might lash out at you based on the feedback he's gotten from this negative interview, as he put it.
He really says that he doesn't know. He tells me that he doesn't read the comments and then proceeds to tell me about things he's seen. So I think he's probably
all the comments
he would have picked up on this. But talk about the element of surprise is very important in an attack. I had just come from a very pleasant interview with my new best friend Eli Tomac, and walk across to Jorge. So my guard is down. I'm like, I'm having a good day. No problems. My guard is down. Here's a familiar face in Jorge. And then bam, there I am, floored. So always keep your wits about you. Never settle.
As we all were. Well, at Ironman, if you interview him and you need protection, you should try Leatt. At Leatt, protection is in our brand DNA. It started 20 years ago with the groundbreaking Leatt neck brace and continues today with an extensive product offering of protective gear and riding apparel. But what Leatt really stands for is inspiring confidence and ensuring safety with every ride. And if you need some protection, Lewis, I know that you know the people to call, but I'll also second that, and we'll try to get you some stuff.
Thank you. I will be okay, though. I do think Jorge doesn't hate me.
I don't think he actually really hates anybody. I mean, maybe he hates some people from GPs, but
no, I think part of that interview was the fact that he's comfortable with me to a degree. So like his guard was down also. Like I think if I was you or Steve, he would have maintained more of a like pleasant.
Well, I think that's part of. I think that's also part of the comfortability, as you say, of why he was taken aback by some of your questions. Maybe. Is like he was like, I thought you were going to help me, friend. I thought we were going to make things happy, which is why towards the end of the interview you were like, positive things. Let's talk about positive things.
What did he say? He liked his gear and he had a good meal last weekend. So, you know, what more could you want in life? That sounds to me like a man who's on a good pathway.
Indeed. Okay, can I get into my second topic?
Yeah, how long are we going to be here?
I don't know, man. This is going to be a long show at this point, but maybe we'll try to ring through this quickly. So let's do this one really quickly, okay? We kind of already did this, but now I feel like he's in a much better position than he was even when we started talking about this maybe at round 2. If you could just wave a magic wand and give a perfect, ideal game plan for what Jo Shimoda's career should look like in the next 3 years, what are you doing? What team would you sign for? What options would you give yourself for going to a 450? Etc. etc.
Oh, you stay on Honda on a 250, and then you just capitalize on this progress, win something next year, and ride this gravy train as long as you can. Whether it's really that hard to change teams, it's clearly something that Joe takes his time with. So why risk that again? Just stay with the base that you've only just become comfortable with.
But as we always talk about, there's a bit of a logjam constantly at Honda. Now, the Hunter seat might be a little bit more vulnerable, if you can even call it that. I would not say that as much, but we know Jett's big deal is probably going to be announced soon. Hunter is out after next year, potentially, but I mean,
he won't be.
I don't see why they would. Yeah, so like Joe runs into a logjam there. Like they're not going to have a third Honda 450, are they?
No. Well,
if you sign a 2-year deal with a 2027 option of going to the 450s, they're going to be like, I don't know, man. We'll see.
If there's a reason
250 that year again.
If there's a reason to have a third 450, then it's probably a Japanese rider who's having success.
I agree, but I mean, and granted, yes, the higher ups at Japan just saw him win at Redbud, so that's maybe a massive help in ensuring a contract like that gets signed. But I just don't know that it happens that way.
I also don't like these discussions of like there's a logjam of Honda, because ultimately you stay where you're going to be successful for the time being, and then if that works out, you'll have your pick of multiple options. Like too much is made out of like, but I won't be able to be on this team in 7 years' time. It's like, well, most people aren't anyway.
Yeah, but I think if you're Shimoda at this point in time, you have the momentum and the ball in your court enough that you should, in my opinion, be working on something that launches you into the 450s. Because if he takes, like, let's just say a 1-year deal at Honda next year.
There's never going to be a 1-year deal.
And, okay, but he should be on a 450 by 2027, probably. We've been in the 250 class since 2020.
Yeah, but that's not the way it's working at the moment, is it? Everyone, look at Levi, look at everyone. Everyone's just staying down until they win, basically. So I don't think anyone's moving up voluntarily unless there's a massive offer on the table. Who was the last rider who moved up? Top rider who moved up without being forced? I mean, who was the last top rider who moved up full stop?
Chase,
yeah.
Jett did. He wasn't forced to technically because he could have raced 250 outdoors, but he did.
But you know, I'm
But Chase was definitely
Chase
wasn't forced to.
Yeah,
so,
I won't accept Jett just because like Jett kind of is a unique thing. But Chase at that point in his career wasn't a sure thing as a 450 talent, and yeah, that counts. But yeah, for the most part,
okay. I mean,
no one's.
But this is also part of the problem. We have a never-ending rotation of 450 guys that are here to stay for a very long period of time. But the caveat to that, as I said a few weeks ago, if you look at Justin Cooper and what he's done, and if you look at RJ Hampshire and what he's done, I think if you're any of those teams out there, you should be looking at Shimoda and Kitchen and all of those guys and thinking, well, damn, they should probably be doing similar.
Yeah, but that's
right?
why you just take a 2-year deal at Honda, and then in 2 years' time, all of these people are going to be retired, and you have a pick of the options, and it's lovely, brilliant. That's a brilliant career roadmap. Superb.
Okay, so 2-year deal, like you guarantee yourself 2 more years on a 250. So
yeah, because even if he wins next year, he'd have a year to defend.
9 years
right?
total in the 250 class. Yeah, but 9 years total in the 250 class when you're a proven race winner?
I don't know what but like you're hanging up on this, but I've just proven that no one's going, I'm going to get out of here now.
Yeah.
But that's just not happening.
I guess it's
so why would
model.
Joe be the one to be like, I want to go to the 450s?
I don't know, man. I think that I wish that these guys cared more about excelling at the premier level, but I get it. It's more about monetary value at this point, and he's going to make more money sticking down in the 250 class, so might as well do that.
And competitively, I think everyone just wants to tick that box of winning in 250s, like it's an unachieved challenge, you know? Like, I think that plays into it as well. Like, realistically, can you make a good argument for Joe moving up to the 450s next year or the year after, other than he's been in the class a while? There isn't really one that's, like, eye-catching unless he has a significant offer on the table, which then you're like, well, take that, yeah.
I think for his sake, I would look at it more as when all those guys that are there eventually leave. If you have a year or two already of experience in the 450 class on your upper hand, then you move into a realm in 2028 or 2029 where you're a serious threat when all those guys are gone.
Yeah, I mean, Joe still says that he's not signed, which I don't necessarily believe. I think it's just Joe panicking about saying the wrong thing, because we know he's very concerned with that. So I would be, at this point, although there were PC and Husky options existing, I do really genuinely believe that he's just going to re-sign a Honda, and then it'll probably be a 2-year deal, because why would it be a 1-year deal? It'll probably be a 2-year deal, and then at the end of that 2-year deal, everyone else will be gone. He'll probably be, if not a champion, he will be a much more significant race winner. And he and Kitchen and all the others will be able to have their pick of the lot, because there will be seats on every single factory team that need to be filled. And for the most part, there aren't riders coming up where you're like, well, so-and-so is behind Joe, but he's going to be bumped up early and take that spot. You know, there's no one like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Even Hayden is going to like run out his full 250 coverage, isn't he? If he does Supercross next year.
Yeah, well, if he wins, then he can't defend in 27.
Well, isn't it that he won this year, so he's only got 1 year to defend?
Yes.
So, yeah, so if he races 250 Supercross next year, then he's hitting his max time on a 250, even as a generational talent.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I just was like forgetting his middle year, but yeah, you're right. He only gets next year to defend, and then he's up in 2027. Okay. Last thing I'll say about Shimoda, the Wasabi Joe nickname getting thrown around, and then he's been called Sushi. Like, are we just missing the most? Like, he should just be called Joe Show. I don't know why anyone wants any other nickname other than that.
Or Jojo, like Yo-Yo.
Oh, okay, but I don't know why we have to go for all the Asian ones instead of just calling them
I don't
Joe
really
Show.
understand
So
the significance of Wasabi Joe.
I don't know either, other than that it's related to Asian food again.
We should just call him Japan.
And that's why they're calling him sushi. I don't know. Japan.
Hey, it's Japan. If we're going down this road, why not?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Joe Show. That's my vote for
I don't like
that.
that.
Hey, Race Tech. If you guys want to get some high quality suspension components made right here in the USA, you guys should check out racetech.com. For 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with those high quality suspension components. And of course, they are made right here in the USA. For modern and vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for suspension performance. And we thank Racetech again for backing this show. I'm actually going to skip the topic I preempted you with, Lewis, because I want to go another route in the 250 class of what should this person do. And you have firsthand knowledge of this, so I just kind of want to pick your brain on it. What should Mikkel Haarup do?
In what context?
Well, he's 5th in the standings. He's proven that he's now a guy in the USA on a consistent basis. We don't know what Supercross looks like, but as you said in your post-race interview with him, the whoops over there by the finish line jump maybe are a idea.
Yeah, let me read out this quote.
Didn't go well.
So this was what he said in my post-race interview. Jordan said, "Put your ass back, shift to 4th and wide open." And I said, "Sure, if I fucking knew how to do it." Great quote.
Lovely.
I might send that in for noise.
But I mean, look, we talked about how in Vial's situation with him going back to Europe, like if he were able to race 450 Supercross next year and then maybe go back to a 250 outdoors, he should be arguably the number one guy if Hayden Deegan's not there. And we said the same thing with Kitchen. We've now said it with Shimoda. But Mikkel Haarup is making a case of why he could also be in that mix next year. And so if you're Haarup, you're looking at going back to Europe and racing MXGP on a Triumph 450, an unproven motorcycle at this point in time. And who knows where he fits in versus maybe trying to lock a deal down to stay here and try to win a title on a 250 next year.
Veto. Because he's
really, you don't even want to talk
he's
about
done
it.
his deal, and I know what. And he told me don't talk about it because you're the only one who knows. So
you don't even want to talk about what he should or shouldn't do.
How can I talk?
It doesn't matter if you know. Just should he stay here or should he go back to Europe?
Said I know. Everyone's just gonna think what I say is.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you would have even said that.
Because
you should have shut up.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like because I don't know how I can comment on it when I literally know what the deal is.
Okay, but I'm asking, do you think that he's better off here or better off in Europe? That's all I want to know.
I think he should race somewhere in the world. As long as he stays on planet Earth. I don't know how to answer. You're right.
Okay, fine.
He could win the outdoor title next year.
Okay. All right. So,
but also people
will not
say
see him in MXGP next
year. But also people say he's incredible on a 450. So I don't know.
No, he probably is. No, actually, I do think he'll be a good 450 rider. His style suits a 450 better than a 250, and he's a little bit bigger. So
I've told this story a million times. Red Sand in 2021, 2022 in the off season, there were loads of GP teams testing, and Haarup was out there on a stock KX 450, still in the MX2 class, and 4 or 5 people text me and said, "Oh my God, Haarup is absolutely flying on a 450." And I actually told Haarup that story at some point this year, and he said, "Oh yeah, there was a day where Prado was there, and I literally battled with." All comes back, and he was on a stock KX 450 as well. So we're really tying this whole thing together. He's like, "Yeah, there was a day where I hung with Prado and battled with him for an entire moto." So I'd imagine it was then that everyone was losing their mind.
Can we just quickly, with ending this topic, say that I think it's insane that Simon Langenfelder raced a 450 at ADAC
and lost
this past weekend while he's leading the MX2 World Championship. Yeah, and
I think
lost.
It's insane that he went 5.22. Like what? How's that good?
But could you imagine Hayden Deegan is just like, yeah, I'm gonna go race. God, I don't even know. Just like a California local series on a 450 this weekend while leading the 250 national title.
Yeah, but this is where the argument comes up. Like I'm hearing a lot now about Prado isn't trying in training, so that's really pissing Kawasaki off. Like this is also where there's just a bit of a culture difference where I don't think GP riders go out and in the midweek and just do a 30-minute moto at absolute full pelt. I think they all kind of make their own programs and go, "Am I going to ride today? Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll ride here. Yeah, I'll go with him. Yeah, I'll race this weekend." You know, it's much more chill. So I think that's causing issues with Prado. But then Prado's like, "What do you mean? This is just normal." You know? I don't know.
I'm gonna write down a topic that I want to bring up another time because we're already too
Don't
long,
tell me it's another Prado topic. Okay.
No. But I'm gonna save this one for later. So,
Haarup is going to
let's
Australia.
move into.
I've said it.
Yep.
with an Indian
Let's move
Supercross
into
option. That's
move into your half of the show, but let's get there by talking about Namura. Namura Technologies have been a trusted name in performance engine components for motocross, ATV, UTV, and personal watercraft for over 20 years. From complete rebuilds to high-performance upgrades, Namura delivers precision-engineered parts built to perform under pressure. Their expanding lineup includes cast and forged pistons, connecting rods, gasket kits, engine valves, and cylinder kits, all designed to meet or exceed OEM specifications. Find full product details and application coverage at namura.com. All right, Lou. What are the topics that you've come up with on the fly?
well. Thanks, Kellen, for that lovely intro. Let's talk about Guillod, because I don't think we've done that yet, have we? And so much negativity with Prado, but let's talk about the good European, who is somehow over-exceeding his coverage on a stock bike versus Prado, but that is besides the point. So we know, thanks to the Blair Mathis project, we know roughly who Club MX are talking to for next year, correct? Like Avery Long, Lux Turner, I think Hunter Yoder was mentioned. There was another name, I think. Would you take Guillod over those guys? I would.
I think Parker Ross was the other name.
Would you take Guillod over those riders? Because I definitely would. And I would do 250 Supercross and either class outdoors, because realistically, who cares? He can do either.
Here's my take on this, and I've mentioned this to people involved. I would take Guillod if I'm thinking of I want to have my team be on the map from a publicity standpoint and a results standpoint. I would take any of those other guys to simply be growing them into what they could be, which is what I think Club is after. I think Club is after these like stories of guys that are like the forgotten talents of amateurs. Let's take them and get them to where they could be, race winning potential borderline. Sense. And I think that they like that sort of story about them because they're a training facility. So they're also trying to prove it to amateurs that are coming to their facility. Hey, we can take you to this level because we do it with our pro team as well. But I think if you take Guillod and you just pluck him and put him on that team next year, he runs pretty well in Supercross. Definitely a lot of top 10s. I would say even maybe a top 5 could be in the cards for him. And then you put him on a 450 outdoors and he does probably better than what he's doing now because he's got a year under his belt on these tracks. So we're looking at 7, 6, maybe even top 5 on a more regular basis. And there you have it. You're getting consistently good, solid results from him.
We're agreed that Guillod in Supercross on a Club 250 would beat all of those riders we just mentioned. Maybe not Parker Ross.
No, actually, I would say that Guillod's potential is to beat all of those guys, no problem. I hate to say that, but like, listen, this is a guy that has raced the Paris Supercross and beat Cooper Webb one night, for example. And so his talent on a Supercross track is not just non-existent. He's proven it in the past. He's a very good technical rider. He's very skilled at maneuvering the bike in the air as well. He's really good at scrubbing. It's always been one of his fortes. So I think his style would adapt to Supercross immediately, even in the USA. Would he struggle with whoops? Okay, maybe a little bit, but we got 9 of them. 3 jump them and you're fine. He
loves whoops.
So
loves whoops.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, I think that is the potential even higher than top 5? Yeah. But I think that he would easily slot into the top 10 on that team and on that bike, no problem.
I think if you put him on a Coty program, he's probably comparable to Coty. Maybe Coty's a tick ahead indoors, but then Guillod's higher outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I get the whole thing about the training facility and the amateurs and the forgotten talents and blah, 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 blah. But also, what another great example for the training facility to be like, yeah, we can bring this guy in from Switzerland and make him Supercross ready.
Yeah, I mean that would also prove the concept a little bit as well. But I just think that even them as a program would look at it in the same way. Look, we're taking a world class talent because that's what he is. He was a world championship runner up in MX2 in 2016.
I don't know. I don't think he got second.
No, I thought he did maybe. Once, but he was battling for wins a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that actually. I'm curious.
2016,
for some
2017.
reason, I don't feel like
and then
he was.
He had the red plate in 2016 at some point in time.
No, not in 20.
But anyway, 2018 then?
No, if anything.
No,
it was 2015, if anything.
Even earlier. Okay, so whatever. But at one point in time, he was borderline battling for a world championship. Let's say that. I mean, he had the red plate, so you can't say he wasn't.
I don't remember him.
So
having the
yeah,
red
he's
plate.
like a world-class talent. I swear he did. I mean, I'll
the
look it up,
MXGP
but-
website's just crashed on me, so I don't remember him having a red plate, but it's too difficult to look up, I think. But in 2015, he ended up 4th in the championship, 72 points behind Tim Geiser. If he had the red plate, it would have been around this sort of time, and he was still second at that point, and then Hurlings would have gone out around this sort of time, and he was still miles behind. I don't think he ever had the red plate. I really don't.
Okay, I swear he did, but okay, there you go. You're proving my point anyway. He was second in the championship.
Well, at the midway point. I never disputed that, to be clear.
Midway through a championship and being second in the world is
No, you said he
proof in the
finished
pudding
second
of
in the
exactly
World
what I'm saying.
Championship, and I said no. You didn't say at one point he was second in the championship for a brief period.
all I'm trying to emphasize to you is that he is a world-class
Yes.
talent that has battled for a world title, borderline at best, but let's say that it was close because he was in a position where I was second in the championship. All these guys would say that. They would be like, yeah, I was battling for a world title if that's where they said they were. So, again, the whole point I'm trying to make is the club team and potential amateurs going to it would look at Guillod and his past and be like, well, of course he's good.
Yeah.
He should be good.
I mean, there is also the issue that if you quiz, this would be a fun interview. This would be really good content. If you pulled every single team manager at the race in America and said, did Valentin Guillod ever win GPs? I guarantee 80% would really struggle with that question.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
More,
Dude.
I'd say. I'd say 90%. I think Lars would know. Roger would, Ian would know. I'd like to say Mitch would know.
It's been a long time,
No,
too.
but that's
So,
just
I mean,
knowing that someone's won GPs is a fairly I think that's a fairly easy statistic to pull from. But yeah,
look, I was trying to look for his red plate stats, and there you go. Headline from 2015: Cairoli and Guillod top Talavera MXGP.
yeah. If you want a good video to see how good Guillod is, search for Hurlings Guillod Villas Suseco 2015 or Hurlings Guillod French GP 2015. There's a highlight video of one lap where their battle is sick, and Guillod just fully rails around the outside of Hurlings and gives him the business. It's sick.
Yeah. So again, I would, if I'm in charge of the team, which I'm not, I would sign him because I think that the publicity that it brings to having him succeed on your program is a benefit. Even just him being on the team in general, even if he doesn't do well, it's kind of like, oh, look we've signed this guy. I mean, shoot, they were 3 years ago, they signed Dominic Thury to that program.
Yeah.
So
And,
we're at this point now where there's maybe skipping on Valentin Guillod, and nothing against Thury, he's a great dude, but I mean, German Supercross sometimes race winner versus battling Hurlings for a race win in MX2.
Yeah, I think, and I think if you're, like a club amateur kid, you don't, or another rider in line for this position, I don't think you look at Guillod getting it and go, "What the fuck? That's insane."
Yeah.
Oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. We're leaving. I don't think there's any of that. I think it's quite a logical take, but they should I really hope they give him a tryout. I really do, because he deserves it. He really does. Good rider. One of the better prospects out of MXGP Supercross wise. That's for sure.
Agreed.
I say that with certainty. Anyway, ad read.
All right. Let me tell you about Partzilla.com. They're the premier OEM parts dealer and distributor. They sell OEM parts for Honda, Kawasaki, Polaris, Can-Am, Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Sea-Doo, Ski-Doo, and Yamaha motorcycles, ATVs, PWCs, and snowmobiles. Visit Partzilla.com to see their extensive line of parts and accessories. And boy, oh boy, do we have a Partzilla PRMX Blaster Power Race Team update of the weekend. Mikkel Haarup top 10 at Washougal, top Cowie as well. making the brand look very good. No question about it. Cade was 30th. Rough weekend again for our guy. And Jack Chambers, 25th. Now, I spoke with Cade at Millville, and we are interested in doing a trio pod where you and him debate stuff and I mediate. Thoughts?
I don't understand why you would be there if you're not debating.
Well, I mean, I'll get in on some of my thoughts, but he wants to go at you with some of his thoughts.
Sure. If he can handle the heat.
All right, that might be our Loretta's edition.
I'm not talking about Loretta's. I can't be bothered. I don't care. And I don't even understand it. I don't understand the difference between 10
Is
to
Sean
15
going?
stock C and 15 to 17 modified 350s, and I don't understand.
Is Sean going at all to do
No,
work?
no one's going.
Oh, sad. All right, you got another topic for me, or are we out of
I
topics?
feel like we should talk about Chase and Jett a little bit, shouldn't we? But I can't really come up with a reason to.
Okay.
A start, like, have you got a... I mean, an easy one is, did Chase Sexton win or did Jett Lawrence lose?
Well, I think an interesting one with that is Chase's level that he was pushing Jett at higher than Eli's?
Yes, without doubt. Oh, without doubt.
Without
that's
doubt.
Not even a
Even though
question.
Eli won 2 motos already.
Yeah, Eli won 2 motos, but Jett was in both of them kind of not in the picture. There was no pushing of Jett in those motos.
Well, then what about Paula?
That could be debatable, but I think, and I said this to Chase after the race in the interview, I think that, well, Chase said this as well, that Jett said to him, like, what the hell were you doing in those whoops? Meaning Jett just couldn't figure out how to, like, match Chase there. And then even Jett running Chase high in the berm after the whoops, to me, that was a little bit like, oh, he's, like, kind of like, I need to keep this guy behind me. I can't let him get away. So I think that was a mentality shift in Jett that we don't really see often. So I think without doubt, that first moto is the pinnacle of Jett being pushed in 450 motocross.
Well, I think to me the crash was proof in the pudding enough that he wasn't riding with like within his capacity anymore. He was pushing beyond maybe the normal limits of himself because he wasn't measured and centered with where he wanted to be on the bike, and stepped out with the rear tire a little bit, and instead of backing out and trying to save it, he just spun it up and spun out. So that is an idea of him pushing a little bit more than usual. But I just think it's an interesting study because, I mean, I feel like we were at basically after round 4 when Eli won a moto again, that we were like, well, I mean, he's done it twice now. He's been pushing him. He's been close. And then that fell off. And now we're back. Now we're here with Chase and seeing what he's doing, and kind of comparing and contrasting them is interesting, in my opinion.
I think I got a lot of heat preseason, as did Steve. We were kind of on a similar wavelength with this. I got a lot of heat for saying that it was Jett, Chase, and then Eli, and that Eli wouldn't be a clear second place guy, and Eli would kind of float around the top 5. And I think that's been proven before Chase had returned, and now that Chase has returned and already established himself, in my opinion, as above Eli, I think was a really accurate prediction. And
Yeah, I mean, I think
one
that
of the YouTube commenters has returned to say, actually, I was wrong. Bizarre.
well, that's nice of them. Instead of just motherfucking you and then just buggering off when you're actually
No, I
proven
said
correct.
none of them did.
But I mean, I thought you
no,
said someone
I said,
did.
surprisingly, no one's done that.
I heard one. I don't think that Eli's that
No,
far
I never
off.
said-
Like, I don't
I
think
don't
he's
mean
like
that. I don't
hovering
mean that.
around the top 5.
I'm not
but-
saying that. But I think...
Well, you just said that, though.
No, wait, what did you say?
I said I don't think he's like just hovering around the top 5. I think he's definitely still basically maybe right behind their level, which is what you're trying to get at. But I don't think hovering around the top 5 is a
No,
fair
I mean like
critique of
as
that.
in 3rd to 5th. Like Hunter can be better than Eli on any given day.
Yeah. But I think Eli can still be better than both of them with the right start and or racecraft or
Jett
whatever.
and Chase being both of them.
Yeah, I think Eli can beat both of them still.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I can say that with certainty at this point because it's been very shaky. Obviously, it was telling how happy he was with a 3rd place. That tells you just how shaky it's been and how much the recent bike setup changes have been a shot in the dark. Speaking of which,
Well, I think it's funny.
sorry, go on. No, you go.
Go ahead. I was going to say, and not to get back to how great of a job you did, but I thought it was funny in your interview with him how he said, if I ride this terrible, referring to Millville, that I will pull myself out of consideration for being on Team USA. Like, I'm not going to go and ride that bad there. And then just immediately was back to basically where he was before.
Yeah,
Millville,
I think it's pretty much, it's all but confirmed, isn't it? The Team USA is Chase, Hayden, and Eli.
Yeah, I mean, if they say they're all in, why would you not have that team?
They all said that in my interviews across the weekend, and then to just cement the point even more, Jacob in my interview was kind of like, yeah, I've not heard much. So, and he's the only...
And also, he said, I'm tired and I need a break.
Well done.
Yeah, so.
Thank you to Yamaha for sending Jacob to the scrum. It was great to have some Yamaha representation there amongst all of the other manufacturers that showed up. So well done, Yamaha. We really appreciate that effort, and it was great to see, and well done.
Lovely.
It was inspirational. And if Eli isn't on the podium at Ironman, apparently we're getting Eli. So,
all right, there we go.
We're making changes. LVK.
That's big
the
stuff.
Podcast that pisses off the pits.
It kind of does. I mean, honestly, like I feel like the last month or so, I go to the race weekend, or even I don't go to the race weekend, and I hear another. This guy is not happy with you, or this. You know,
I haven't heard anything like that previous Yamaha instance. I don't think. Oh, that was an LVK.
I have.
No, that was an LVK.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't tarnish me with your brother.
Well, but no, because you and I both got called to the principal's office at Redbud.
I was thinking of the event that occurred for you at Redbud, which I was uninvolved in.
Moving on. And I was pretty much uninvolved in too, but
you
know
were
how
collateral
things go,
damage, so
yeah, as is per usual.
No, but I've kind of forgotten what we were talking about.
Well, we were just talking about the Chase and Jett dynamic. Do you think? Okay, so we've done this a couple times now, and we tried to theorize if Jett wins out or whatever. Now that we've seen them split motos, and we see how good Chase can be, how many more does Chase get over Jett in the remaining 6?
I would think that similar to Jett's perfect season, where Chase was hounding him each week and like it could have gone either way, I think we're going to get that for the most part. I think it's going to be like, it's going to be a toss-up, and I think it's going to be exciting. I am quite keen now for the rest of the season because Washougal certainly injected some excitement into this thing. Do you care that Jett lost his overall win streak?
The only reason I care a little bit is because I really wanted to see what the public perception of him winning every overall, but not every moto would have been. Like, I wanted to know if people still consider that like quotations perfect season, or I don't even know how you score it, but like I wanted to know what people would have thought of him having every overall win to the tally.
Yeah, see, I kind of never really cared or put stock in that. Mainly, I think I would more so if it was Chase or Eli, because that would be the closest they've ever come to a perfect season. But for Jett, it's kind of a step back from his greatest accomplishment. Whereas the others, it would be a step forward. You get me?
Yes. Can I ask one more question about Jett versus Chase going down the stretch? Okay, so Jett has obviously the upper hand, if you will, to be able to take his foot off the throttle a little bit and just win this outdoor title. But he's 32 points behind Chase in SMX standings, which seems impossible to overcome when you only gain 3 a moto if Chase finishes second every time. But I don't know, the odd chance that Chase has one bad moto. Do you think Jett looks at that at all as like, I got to keep beating him so that I can maybe get there?
I mean, I think that he looks at it as a chance, but I think there's no chance that he gains 32 points, because even if he wins out and Chase gets third every moto on average, that's still not enough. And I think you can bet on third every moto on average for Chase quite confidently, even if it's because he goes 2-2, 2-2, 2-7. So yeah, I would be very surprised if Jett bridges that gap to Chase. And Jacob's all but confirmed as top seed, isn't he? There's no way of anything changing there.
Yes, but with his bad motos at Millville, and let's just say he has let's say he has like one more semi bad moto and then goes like fifth the rest of the way, it's not like completely impossible if Sexton has a godlike run that he runs him down.
But and I haven't got it in front of me,
So-
but Chase would be second, wouldn't he? As long as it all goes to plan.
Yeah, he's only 31 back of
so
Webb.
that should happen
right
at the
now.
next race.
Yep.
And then Hunter should get Hunter will get Malcolm, I think. But that's it.
Maybe Malcolm's been better.
Tomac,
Like I could see Malcolm getting some 6-7s on the way
I don't
out.
think Tomac's moving from where he is in 8th.
If AP misses the rest of the season, he might jump him.
If AP misses, he'll do that for sure. I almost hope AP misses the rest of the season because whilst
Wow.
way to cut me off before I can make realize that I'm not being a dick. I almost hope that AP misses the rest of the season because although I can see him rushing back to protect a top 5 seed, I think that it's much more important that he gets his health on track and then comes back for SMX feeling better rather than risking another setback. Because ultimately, for AP, 4th to 7th in the seed, does it really matter? Probably not. So I hope that he doesn't rush back in the hopes of getting 5th place in the seed and he just goes full bore on SMX. That would be my hope for AP. Because I care about his health, not because I'm a dick.
Just messing with you. All right. You got another topic, or do you want to call it a 5?
I haven't really got anything too interesting to add, to be honest. I feel like to be honest, I don't know if this has been the best LVK in the world. I feel like I've repeated. I don't know. Who knows? It's not the best. Repeated myself a lot from the Vital review pod, so I'm sorry about that if you listen to both. We need to get back to like non-moto first of all, but also we were discussing like 2015 GPs and old scenarios, and we need to get back to that.
That's why I was trying to bring up the Shimoda and Haarup stuff, but you shot down the Haarup thing, and then the
how
Shimoda.
Is that anything to do with the two things I just listed, which was non-moto and 2015?
Well, I'm trying to bring it away from current topics and
We talked
future
about
projections.
Shimoda.
Is
Don't
what I
throw
was
that in
trying
my
to do.
face.
No, the Shimoda was fine, but you shot me down with Haarup.
Because I don't know how to play that game.
Hey, that's part of the job, though. You're going to know a lot of stuff.
But ultimately, if I say one thing, I'm ultimately just lying to everyone and just literally bullshitting. And if I say the other thing, then I'm just revealing what I was told to keep secret.
I'm going to text Adam Wheeler, and I'm just going to say, ask Lewis, what should Hurlings do for 2026?
You clearly didn't listen to the...
No, I know you guys have already discussed it, but I
feel like we were...
I just want
I feel like we were fairly transparent with the rumors and left little to the imagination, I would say. I don't think there was any real smoke and mirrors with that podcast. We should have honestly, we should have discussed some of that. Bad move on our part.
We can right now.
Okay, well, Tim Geiser's gone to Yamaha. Congrats to him. And potentially...
Who are his teammates?
Renault.
That's it.
Yes.
Nobody else. They're not doing 3 bikes.
They'll confirm it by the end of this week, but it seems as though they're just going to do 2 and 2.
Okay.
But Tim's there for sure, so congrats to Tim. It's going to be very weird to see him in Alpine Stars gear and on a blue bike and Monster and all of that. It will also be very telling because Yamaha have not had the best track record in GPs as of late. So, yeah, that'll be cool. Big change. And then there does seem to be a chance that Jeffrey could leave KTM and go to HRC. So that would also be a big change and a weird, like, if both of those things happen, imagine the first Instagram photo of both of them on their new bikes. We're talking shared everywhere and hundreds of thousands of likes.
It's going to be weird. I understand why Hurlings is going to maybe Honda.
Well, it's a rumor and a potential.
KTM is... Okay, listen. I understand why Hurlings leaving KTM is happening, okay? Well, I do not really understand why... do not really understand why Geiser wants to leave Honda for Yamaha.
He
Other
fell
than
out with
monetary?
Honda because he wanted too much money and Honda refused to pay him. And Garibaldi did an interview in an Italian magazine where he basically said, Tim's old, he wants too much money. And I think there's a little bit of friction there because so fun fact, I, on my MXGP podcast last year, repeatedly said, I believe that Tim is like holding back a little bit and playing it too safe. And I think that he could actually take hold of his championship, but he's riding within his means a little bit. And the one man at HRC who really doesn't like me was really unhappy with that. But ultimately, his opinion is insignificant because he isn't doing a real job. And then it transpires that actually, why have you got your head in your hands?
I'm just laughing.
And ultimately, I think it transpires that the higher-ups at Honda agree with me and feel like Tim should have won the championship last year. And he rode too within his means. So I do think that is in the ether playing into the decision. But ultimately, Tim wanted a lot of money and HRC didn't want to pay it. And the two sides refused to budge. And here we are. Tim's gone to Yamaha with some monster funding.
Yes or no, Tim Geiser, without getting hurt at Switzerland, wins this title
100%.
this year?
He probably would have locked it up already.
Okay, so if we're right now in the situation where he's 100 points up on those guys because he was heading in that trajectory at least, you think Honda still is sitting there going, he wants too much?
Because I think this went back to pre-injury, these discussions.
Then Honda's stupider than I thought.
No, Kellen, that's rude. I like Honda, and I like everyone there. In fact, some of the people there are my
I like
favorite
Honda
people
too,
in the
but that's
sport.
a dumb take. That's a dumb take that the guy that was en route to winning you the championship rather handily a year after you were shitting on him for not doing it.
That's come on. No,
not gonna.
You've taken the words too far.
Okay, but like that's the context of the conversation, if you will, because again, they're just looking at it as like he should have won.
No, but
that
I don't think
title.
that. No,
So,
but that's
okay.
almost separate. I'm saying I think. I don't know this. I think that was a little like we left one on the table there. But ultimately, I guess
Well, then let's.
what people
but-
told me is that I haven't seen it, but Garibaldi did an interview for an Italian magazine where he said Tim wants too much money, Tim's old, and we're done.
But that's just I don't know, and so that now makes sense why Tim would want to leave, because if you're Tim Geiser and you're a 4-time MXGP world champion, you're one of the winningest guys in the sport's history, and you were maybe en route to winning this title handily again this year, you have every damn right in the world to demand
No, but
money.
I think the salary he wanted was far above what anyone else in MXGP was getting. Like, from what I know, it was.
He kind of deserves
No,
it.
come on. He deserves equal money
Come
to
on.
Jeffrey and a little bit more than Roman.
Where is Tim all time in wins now? 4th?
I don't know. Do you think I got that to hand?
Who's won the most titles since Cairoli?
Tim.
You're 4th all time in wins in this series, and you have more titles than anybody else in the last decade. And you can't demand every little bit of dollar of the money that you want.
I correct myself.
Oh, I'm going to pull my Hurling's 2016 and 2017 titles out of my hat
correct
here.
myself. Since Caroli's last title, Tim has won 2, 2019, 2022. No, 3. He has won 3. 2019, 2020, and 2022. Hurling's has won 2, 18 and 21, and Prado's won 2, 23 and 24.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
forgot 2020. My bad. No, but that's my understanding. It's just it was a money fallout, and ultimately they couldn't meet anywhere close to the middle, which is a shame.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's
Well, I
dumb,
disagree.
because, like, again,
I
as
feel
we
very
know,
good about the direction Honda is heading.
or as we believe, I should say, Eli Tomac is getting paid quite a healthy dump truck from KTM to race for them for the next
I
2
got told
years.
it's less than 2
and
mil.
he's old. But he's
but
old, perhaps over the hill, but he's one of the most legendary guys to ever do it in our sport, and he demands the budget.
Okay, now
for
we're
that.
going far too behind the curtain. But I've heard that people within KTM are pissed that actually Eli's got that much money because they feel like that money should be distributed more evenly and to people who have been loyal to the brand. But
You've said that.
ultimately, I've said that to you in private. Ultimately,
No, you said it on the
no one
podcast
knows.
when we're
No
talking
one
about
knows.
Tom.
ultimately, KTM had to pay Eli so much money because if they're going to lose Chase, Eli is their only option of winning anything in America. So they had to do that, because if you don't sign Eli, you're going racing with AP and Tom, and ultimately you may win one race. So they had no choice. KTM was not one with leverage in that conversation. Although maybe their leverage could have been, you don't have any other options, Eli, because we know you didn't like the Ducati.
I mean, I'll hit back on this because, yes, at this exact point in time for 2026 Supercross only, Eli Tomac may be your only option to go and dethrone everybody. But there's four guys in the 250 class that could also get up there and do some battle, including Hayden Deegan, who I don't believe has signed his Yamaha deal yet.
No, I think you're wrong on that. Well, he's already done a gear deal, so I don't know how you do that without...
I know the gear deal, but that doesn't matter.
I feel like you need the bike done first, don't you?
Not always. Why? 450s.
Would you not need the bike to know, like... Because, I don't know. Hayden is done at Yamaha. Don't start that. Hayden is done at Yamaha. Where's he going to go?
It's going to happen for sure. I just don't think that it was signed by the time Eli was signed.
No, I disagree. I don't know, but I disagree.
Okay.
I think... and also, what's Yamaha going to do? Hayden, sorry, we don't want to win for the next 10 years. We want to win for the next 12 months.
No, but I'm saying if you're KTM, at least you could have taken a shot across the bow and be like, here's... 7 million for 3? 8? And see what he says.
Who are they paying 7 million to?
I'm saying if you're KTM before you sign Eli, and if Hayden is available, and you're saying we need someone who can win in America for whatever the next 5 years, you just say, Hayden, 8 for 3? 10 for 3?
I don't think India has that much money.
Something? Can we work here? I'm just saying, like, you're saying that Eli's the only shot. I think they could have taken shots elsewhere.
A shot at Hayden. Eli would have been their only shot to win. There's no, I can't think who we can ask. There is no chance. I think they could have if they wanted to just have fun, but I think they probably knew that there was no chance. Like, they wanted to go, let's just make offers.
But again, this is just back to my point. It's Eli Tomac. It doesn't matter whether or not you believe he could win or not win. He has 53 Supercross wins. He's a 4-time outdoor champion. He's one of the greatest to ever do it in this sport, as I would say about Geyser in Europe. He demands that money.
Okay, so I just said that Eli, I've heard Eli's deal is under 2 million. Tim wanted far more than 2 million.
Okay, so yes or no, this is just, let's get to the point quickly here. Yes or no, Eli Tomac has a better chance than Tim Geyser at winning their respective titles next year.
No, but I don't see how that's relevant.
No, that's perfectly relevant because Tim Geyser is old and over the hill, and he's probably going to walk into Yamaha.
Too much into that. Ultimately, it's just a money thing. Tim wanted a lot of money. I don't think Honda wanted to pay that money.
But Yamaha did?
No, they didn't. They paid less than what... They paid less, but ultimately, I think... and also, they had Monster help, but ultimately, I think the Honda relationship was too far gone, and Honda started shopping elsewhere.
I just think that's stupid when you have a guy that has given your brand more success than anybody since... I don't know, pull a name out of the hat. Who's the last guy that won consistently on a Honda?
Well, Bobachef won once. Boga's got a second in a moto at one point.
You're making my point for me. Like, he's done so much. Okay. So it's 20 years. It's been 20 years since Honda's been that successful in Europe. And you just turn the cold shoulder to the guy that's done it for you. I don't know
what their lineup's going to be for next year, but I feel like it's pretty special and an upgrade on what their lineup is this year.
I would say that based on potential possibilities for their lineup, the man that they let walk away could still win a title.
And I would say based on potential possibilities for their lineup, the guy they're getting could win even more titles.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, God. Okay. Good show by the end of it. Are you happy?
That last bit was better. I'm still not happy. There's a lot of problems, Kellen. We need to do better. I think we need to figure out a lot. about what we're doing with LVK. Because if Steve
Okay,
isn't going to scale Pulp MX, let's just scale LVK. You know, we can be like,
wow, bringing in-depth conversations to the pod as well.
I'm joking, obviously. I'm joking. I was leading myself to be like, you know, the man, you know that story of the man who wouldn't leave his house, so they built a freeway around him, and now he's just a house. That can be us. We can be the freeway, and Steve can be Pulp in the house, but just refuses to move. That's what we should do. I don't know.
Oh my god!
No, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that we're doing the bare minimum, Kellen. I'm sorry to the listeners.
Okay,
I'm sorry to the listeners.
I'm sorry we're doing the bare minimum. I thought our Prado discussion was as deep as it gets. I know that a lot of people have done Prado
I felt
pod,
shitty about it because I basically had the same conversation this morning, so I feel like I'm repeating myself. That's why I'm down on this LVK. But ultimately, there'll be different listeners for the most part, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. And to be honest, you can't be the guy that all of this has surrounded all weekend and we can't not talk about it on this show.
And it's fine. And we didn't even talk about other great things like
Faulkner?
Well done, Faulkner.
I like the alliteration that you used in your. No, I like the alliteration that Triumph used. The Triumph used in
thanks,
their
Kellen.
titles.
Well done.
It's very good.
Yeah, that was really
You're welcome.
I don't remember.
I meant to say Triumph. I'm sorry. Fabulous Faulkner finishes 5th or something like that.
It was going to be something like wonderful Washougal result, but I couldn't make the W's work well enough.
You mean they couldn't use the W's well enough? Yeah,
they couldn't do it. They told me. No, we could have talked about Swole because in the Triumph PR there was a tidy little quote in there that I don't think any media's picked up on, including me, bizarrely.
Well, the Swole thing.
No, but did you see
weird.
Scuba's quote?
No, what did he say?
Hold on. I've just clicked the wrong thing, and now I'm on a Triumph page. I'm on a Triumph PR that says Joe Roberts returned to glory.
This entire last like 20 minutes of the
So
pod
do we want to discuss
loose.
Joe Roberts returns to glory in Moto 2, or should I try and get to the correct page?
Austin Faulkner 5th in fabulous Washougal ride.
Okay, I
have
it.
the quote right here.
It says, Jett crashed on the second lap and was stuck under the bike. That created a controversy that will be addressed where he was not allowed to race the second moto. So basically, they're going with he wasn't knocked out, he was stuck under the bike. I need to see footage of Jett riding because I'm curious if there were any like sketchy moments that alarmed people.
Well, the lap times were good. But the lap times were
could
good.
have been good with him also. Like maybe the lap times were good because he was cutting sections because he didn't know where he was.
I'm not trying to discredit Steve Westfall here as a person. You cannot look at what Jalik. You can't look at what Jalik Swole was doing on the ground right there and think he was just stuck. You can't see a leg upside down not moving for 20 seconds and think he was just stuck.
Agreed.
I mean, again, I'm not Jalik himself, but I would be shocked if in 10 years' time Jalik doesn't just go, yeah, I was knocked out. That was a good call.
Seeing as we've gone off the rails.
Because listen, I'm in a lot of group chats.
Right, no need to
every group chat for the last every group chat for like the 3 laps after that happened was just all caps, get him off the track, WTF, this is dangerous, that's unsafe. So I don't know, man, but I'm not a medic. But it seems pretty obvious when people are knocked out at worst. So yeah.
I'm trying to find a YouTube dumbass in the week in my Chase interview comments, but unfortunately, all of the comments are really positive, so it's hard to find the negative ones.
Unfortunately, it's all really positive.
Unfortunately, they love me. So, unfortunately, I'm a viral sensation, so it's hard for me to feel this.
You were this weekend. You really were.
There was some though, but I think they were a lot older, so it's too much for me to scroll.
This has been a hell of a podcast. I'll tell you.
This was
people
my
who
favorite.
Stuck around.
I got through 8 minutes. Sickening. Like, okay, but you also made it through 8 minutes. Like, how bad could it have been? There was also a guy who was live commenting, like, this is terrible, I hate it. And then 12 minutes later put, I can't stand this. And he's like, you're clearly still watching it. like, the two comments have given away that you can't turn it off, sir.
This is too good to change the channel. Also, it's horrible.
Like, the timestamps really just gave it too much. This was good. Hard to watch. Oh, this was the guy. That English guy is a jerk. Don't like his interview style. 14 minutes later. Hard to keep watching this video. English guy interrupts and has his ridiculous accent. Well, just turn it off. Like, Mark, turn it off. For the love of God, Mark.
That's the title of the show right there. Turn it off.
Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, it's bizarre. This was funny. Lewis needs to wear a condom the next time he does these interviews. That actually made me laugh.
I mean, you really should. You got to wear protection. Have you tried Leatt?
I don't know. I don't think the interview was that bad. You could argue I asked him the hardest question he's ever had in his life.
Which
when I said, you had 2 years on the fucking thing, figure it out.
And he said,
I prefer that question. And then didn't actually answer it. No, it's all right.
Oh, okay. What a show. You got anything else?
No, just another apology to the fans because I don't feel like this was up to par. If anything, the last few minutes were ridiculous. I remember saying something at the beginning that the people will not understand was sarcasm, but I don't remember what it was. So if you've made it this far, you've probably already left your hate comment, but maybe delete it. We'll make this better. We'll make everything better.
Don't even know what it is.
We're not doing good enough. We're not doing good enough in life. There's so much more to do.
Here's what we're going to do. Next week during Loretta's, when everyone's talking about amateurs, we're going to come in with a show, and we are going to rank the best top 10 British motocross riders of all time. I don't know
if I can do 10. And also, I'll get so in trouble. Tommy's number one. Tommy is number one, without doubt. Also, funny interaction with Tommy earlier, which I'm sure I'm allowed to say. He replied to my story that says 30 minutes with Chase after Washougal, and he replied, seems like a long time or something. So I replied, well, certainly longer than the first interview you gave me, which was 45 seconds. So,
by the way, I just got a phone call over here. Kurt Nickel on line 1.
Yeah, see, people will say I'm too young and I can't comment. And then I'm going to have to do another apology, and I haven't got time to keep apologizing to everyone. But I do think that a lot can be done better. So this is a mission statement across the board, not just LVK. It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Well, I think we can all strive to be better, and it doesn't matter how good or bad a podcast was. We can always be better the next time.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for us. Yep,
isn't that a song?
Quote. Well, I remixed it slightly to include you.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad that you included me.
And you've got troubles. I've got them too. If we stick together, we can see this through.
Okay, well, we'll see it through in the next few weeks. I think we should do at least one show during this break, right?
Because then we'll get more YouTube revenue.
We'll keep it up for you guys. Okay, great, fantastic. All right, this has been another wild Leatt LVK More Than Moto. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to Leatt, Partzilla, Race Tech, and Namura for backing the show. And we'll be back next week in the middle of Loretta's week to talk about nothing but amateur motocross. No, I'm kidding. We won't.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know who won the modified TM two-stroke class. Like, I don't understand the classes, and I don't understand how. I don't understand. It makes zero sense to me. There's been times where I've wanted to watch Loretta's because of certain riders, and I can't find, because I'm like, oh, the 250 moto's on. Oh no, this is 250 modified. Oh well, there's 250A. Oh no, they're not in that. They're in Open Pro Sport. But what's Open Pro? I don't have the mental capacity for Loretta's. I'm out.
Okay. Well, we'll be back next week to recap Junior World Championship from wherever the heck they did it this year and more on the LVK More Than Moto podcast. See you guys.